There it is. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is just a few minutes after 11 a.m. Today is March 13th. My name is Melvin Coleman. I'm president and CEO of the ABC, and this is yet another informative, powerful experience, virtual, brought to you by the Atlanta Black Chambers, but in particular, our Financial Services Committee. And so today's session is a hot topic. It's been hot since it was introduced to me years ago, and it will always be hot because it takes you into another world that many of us don't operate in. But if you get into that world, it's a good place to be. But what's necessary is that we have the knowledge and expertise brought to us by folks in our community who possess that knowledge and experience. And so that's what's great. And so that's why I'm always excited when I get the chance to say, I got these two brothers, okay? Haziq Ali and his partner, Reco McCambry. So I understand that Haziq is going to start things. And so I am going to say good morning, Haziq. And let's make sure you got your screen up, brother. You ready to go?
Oh yeah. I'm super excited to be here too. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, I probably need to turn my volume up. I think I'm good. Yeah, okay, brother. Business credit life cycle.
Woo.
Trust me, they're coming through, and we'll be coming through for the next several minutes, man. We're already at almost 60 people, so I knew that would happen. But
Yeah.
all right, brother.
Hey, well, we're really excited to be here. Many of you know that Novae is the credit and money company. Really proud to be a part of the Atlanta fabric and really just feel a sense of duty and responsibility to help extend the life expectancy of the entrepreneur. Today, we're going to talk about something that can really help do that. I'll kind of get into the agenda here. Um, Basically, we're going to talk a little bit about some business financing options. After that, we're going to get into business credit and structure. And I'm going to break down here for you shortly why this deserves its own world by itself. And then the last 20 minutes, we're going to do some straight Q&A. So really excited to hear what Atlanta's best and brightest have for us this morning. Really proud of you for being here. You could have been anywhere. The fact that you're here right now really says you're serious about this entrepreneurship thing. You're serious about this business thing. As Ryan shared with us yesterday, TGS's own, he was talking about how, hey man, we got to start thinking in terms of scaling. And many of you were there during Tuesday Talks when I said, well, hey, here's a direct way to do that. So today we're going to talk about sources for business funding and business grants. We're going to talk about learning how to start building business credit right now, like today, when you get off this thing, not now, but right now. We're going to talk a little bit about business credit versus personal credit. Some of you know, some of you don't, but business credit is definitely one of the top 3 best kept secrets in financial literacy. We're going to talk a little bit about how to get a business funding guarantee. I know we like that G word, right? Guarantee. Can somebody throw that in the chat for me? Guarantee. We're going to talk about exact steps and tiers of credit to apply for and when. You're going to leave this training here knowing 10 mandatory items that you need that help you become fundable in the first place. This is how you're going to get business credit approval, which is what I know we're all looking for, right? And I hope you're ready to take notes because we're also going to discuss a free grants search platform. I know if you're anything like me, you always see it on Facebook where somebody's talking about how, oh, you know, I got this list of grants, inbox me. And the next thing you know, they're hitting you up for $1,000. It's like, if I had the $1,000, I didn't need the grant, you know, right? But no, we're going to show you how to do it for free. We are here to provide solutions. Again, name of our company is Novae, the credit and money company. Yeah, you know, you say it all the same, like a Tribe Called Quest or a man named Sweetback. Some of y'all get that joke, some of y'all don't. But you say it all at once. It's Novae, the credit and money company. Novae, the credit and money company. Everything that we do, y'all, is dedicated to closing the wealth gap by closing the ownership gap. And we play in the world of home ownership preparation, but then also, and you might even say this is one of our main focuses, we focus on extending entrepreneurship opportunities. So we use the power of fintech. If you aren't familiar, fintech is the new buzzword for financial technology. Our mission is to provide greater access to credit, capital, and entrepreneurship for these underserved communities that we have all over this country. And you know, and I know, normally they're right around Martin Luther King Boulevard. So the 4 quadrants that we deal with are credit, okay? When we talk about credit building, we're going to talk about personal credit, and we're going to talk about business credit. After that, obviously, you got the credit so you could get access to capital, okay? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Our third niche is the fact that debt is a big issue in our community. We believe that another one of the best kept secrets in financial literacy is this whole world of debt help. There are options besides bankruptcy that many of us just weren't privy to. And then, of course, entrepreneurship, the #1 tool that we need to become self-sufficient as a community and, you know, even respected, as opposed to being a laughing stock the world over. That's a training for another day. But our mission is to get control and ownership of our communities. We all recognize that we're playing a real life game of Monopoly, where if you keep on going around the board without buying property, right, without contributing value, you're just either going to go bankrupt or go to jail. And that's what we see going on. That's what we're here to prevent. And we're so happy you're here to help us with it. So let's get into this thing. You know, this is our CEO, Mr. Reco McCambry. This is your business credit expert. As a matter of fact, he's even the subject matter expert for Forbes magazine. Maybe you've heard of the Forbes, you know, list. Well, you know, he's who they come to when they need a little bit of expertise in the world of business credit and finance. He's a best-selling author of both The Plan After Police Reform and a book that's semi-autobiographical. I got to say semi because it ain't over yet. You know, you ask him, he'll tell you he's still making history. But his first book was called The Fatherless Father, which he wrote as a way to sort of humbly contend that maybe a strong man can be raised by a strong woman, because he's an example of one. We're talking about a guy with a 4.0 GPA, one of the nation's top MBA programs. Beta Gamma Sigma, some of you know, some of you don't. It's one of the nation's business honor societies. This is the #1 business honor society in the world. So he's in there with the CEOs of people like UPS and FedEx and presidents and vice presidents, Coca-Cola, you know, you name it. Incredible honor that one is. Marquee Who's Who in America for business and finance. National Small Business Administration Leadership Council member. And check this out, he has his own day. Can you believe that? He was born in McDonough, Georgia, in the projects a little south of Atlanta, and they recently blessed him with his own day. We got Innovator of the Year Award through our incredible CEO, Bank Customer Experience Summit. We got Outstanding Leadership Award, 2022 Money 2.0 Conference. He was a graduate of the last decade honoree at Coles College of Business at KSU, one of the top programs in the nation. And maybe you've heard about this already. Melvin is always showing us love. We were able to make the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in America, y'all. 2021, 2022, and 2023. I say all of this to say you are in the right place at the right time. If you look at our website, you see all kinds of articles from Forbes, Yahoo, Black Enterprise, all marveling at what we've been able to create in the community over these past 10 years that we've been silently grinding behind the curtain. Damon John even showed us some love. If you go to the website, you get to check that out. That was a bucket list moment for me. Shark Tank is one of my favorite television shows. I call it Entrepreneur TV. So to have Damon John shout us out was just truly an honor and truly just one of those moments I'll always remember. Novae means new beginnings, y'all, and our goal is to provide just that. So, but before we kind of get into this, I just want to remind you that there are 4 different ways that you can kind of access capital, right? We have debt financing, and that's kind of what you see on the screen right now. Because you were lied to, right? When you were a youth, what you were told is that this whole debt thing was bad, right? It turns out it's not the debt that's bad; it's what you do with it. I'm sure we can all agree the number one thing you want to invest in is yourself, is your idea, is this God-given vision that you're here to manifest. So we're going to talk about some of the ways to use debt for good. Then you got equity financing. I was just talking about Shark Tank. Equity financing is when, if you've ever seen the show, they offer you a percentage or they offer you some money in exchange for a percentage of your business. But we normally warn people against that. We caution them because after all, this is your baby. This is your responsibility. And as you just saw with our brother Ryan over at the gathering spot, sometimes it can be a little tricky. So we caution. Third thing is retain earnings. Now, this is where most people go when it's time for them to grow their business. Retain earnings. I'm doing these in no uncertain order, but goodness knows, retain earnings is the one that most people do. What is that? That's when you're using your own capital. That's when you're using your own credit. So a lot of what we're going to talk about today is going to be designed around you kind of changing who you are and how you show up so that you're fundable, so that you're able to get everything this land of opportunity has for you. Now, I want you to think about it. Why do they call it the land of opportunity after all? It's because of credit. It's largely because of credit. In these other countries, you can't just have a good idea and then they give you all the money you need to manifest it just because you got this number attached to your name. Doesn't work like that everywhere. This is the land of opportunity because of credit. This is why they are out swimming sharks and trying to outrun trucks barefoot to get into this country. How shameful if you're here and don't even know how it works. So we don't want you to use retained earnings. Another one that you're going to hear about today is grants, right? Most people don't even know where to find these grants. We always hear about them, but check this out. If you're not set up to look like you manage money appropriately, why would they give you a grant? A lot of people, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I dare you put this in your notes, maybe even throw it in the chat if you understand where I'm coming from. Listen, you have to set up for grants. You got to set up properly for a grant, y'all. It's almost like you're going through the same process you go through to set up for business credit. Who would give you $1 million? Think about this now if you don't even have an EIN number. So today, we're going to talk about the easiest way to keep ownership of your company and still gain access to the capital that you need. And that's both grants and what we're talking about here, which is debt financing. Yeah. So let's talk about some of these business funding types, right? Business cash advances. These are kind of tricky because whereas with our company, we kind of like shut off the ability for someone to get preyed upon. We try to shut off the ridiculous loan, but cash advances can sometimes veer into a bit of a higher interest rate because they know if you come in to get this, you must have a really good idea. And that's what cash advances are for. Merchant cash advances are not for you trying to stave off the inevitable. Merchant cash advances are because you have a quick, the kids would say, lick. We don't, it's you have an idea that you can turn that money around really quickly and get that monkey off your back. So to get a business cash advance, it works for you if you accept credit cards, if you have regular bank deposits. You can get funding advanced to you for up to 200% of the amount of your monthly deposits. So we're talking about they'll accept a minimum credit score of 550. You only have to have been in business for 6 months. Your minimum monthly revenue only has to look like about $5,000 and you can get up to 10 million. Because we're going to hold your hand through everything, we'll tell you, proceed with caution. A lot of times our funding department may even ask you, what is your purpose for this? Are you sure? Because that's a tricky one. They will give you the money, but they will want it back. This is where we remember these are banks, not nonprofits. The second one we're going to talk about is business term loans. Now, these are all kinds of loans. These are all kinds of loans. We're talking about SBA Express. We're talking about 7A equipment. We're talking about SBA Express 7A loans. We're talking about equipment financing, franchise loans, purchase order loans. These are the loans that you can back with real estate as collateral. So for this one, you notice the credit score went up a little bit, 650. You need to have been in business about 2 years. Minimum monthly revenue, 20,000. Look at business lines of credit though. Talking about a 650, you can get up to a quarter. See, the way we set this thing up is that it's real easy breezy. All you have to do is look at it, be able to read exactly what the qualifications are. And then if you still mess around and apply to the wrong category, we're going to help you get into the right one. So don't worry. Let me see here. Next slide. Okay. We also do invoice factoring. So invoice factoring is when you got the money out there, you can touch it, you can smell it, you can taste it, but it's not in your bank account yet. You've got accounts, receivables out there, right? You've got money that people owe you. Well, what we'll do is we'll look at that and then give you some of the money that they owe you so you can still make payroll or you can still make that inventory order, whatever it is. So again, because the money is there, they'll accept a lower credit score, 530 credit scores. Now you say, why would someone have a minimum monthly revenue of 40,000 a month and still have a 530 credit score? Well, it happens a lot more than you think, because in business and small business, in the world of small business, what you'll find is 50% of what the Small Business Administration calls a small business, which is 500 employees or less. 50% of them are using their personal credit to run their business. I'm telling you, business credit is a secret, even to some of the bigger boys. Don't feel bad about it. Business startup funding is another category. This is unsecured, right? So 680 credit score. You don't even have to have any time in business. Why? It's startup funding. You don't have to have minimum monthly revenue. Why? It's startup funding. Now, does it help if you have some time in business? Does it help if you've got some revenue coming in? Of course it does. But this is startup funding for a reason, up to 150,000. But we also go up to 150 million with the commercial real estate loans. We're talking about retail, mixed use, industrial. You have to own your personal residence. But listen, up to $150 million, you now get to be a resource for the investors in your circle. It's an amazing thing when you're dealing with companies that utilize fintech. Novae happens to be first in class. Let me see, next slide. Here we go. Okay. Next slide. This thing is, and make sure as we're going through this that you are, taking note of questions, etc., so forth. Equipment financing is another one. 4 months of business bank statements, 700 credit score minimum, funding range up to 20 million, right? This is when you're trying to finance new or used equipment or any of the costs associated. We also have rapid SBA loans. This is the fastest access to an SBA loan. This is the one where you've got streamlined processes. You can get pre-qualified right now. If you qualify for this one, you need a 720 credit score. You need 3 or more years in business. You need 14,000 a month in minimum monthly revenue, and we go up to 150,000. And then there's the CDFI loans. I love the fact that this is community development money, so it doesn't just focus on credit score, right? This is for BIPOC businesses, Black, Indigenous, people of color. I don't know where they came up with that. Another way to dilute the Black experience, no doubt. But this CDFI money is there for you. 580 credit score, 3 months in business, 6,000 a month in minimum monthly revenue. And check it out, $100,000 in funding. This could be a women-owned business, a low-income owned business, or a Black-owned business. But let's talk a little bit about grants, y'all. Somebody say free money, right? Somebody say free money in the chat. Y'all awake? Somebody say free money. Give it to me in the chat. Give it to me in the chat, or I can just skip over this. A business grant is money that's awarded to businesses in need. Unlike loans, y'all, grants don't have to be paid off. The money ain't being borrowed. There's no interest attached. grants are given to businesses with no expectation of return. It's another reason they call this the land of opportunity. So you got government grants, you got grants for veterans, you got grants for women, you have grants for immigrants and minorities, you got grants for nonprofits, y'all. And what if I told you that because you're here today, you're going to get free access to an open grants platform where you can search. We call it a Google for grants. This thing is amazing. This thing is amazing. So you're going to love this right here. You're going to leave here knowing a little more about that as well. So now I want to introduce the man. I kind of talked about him a little bit earlier because this is the guy who, because he said yes, because he was courageous enough. It's so funny. Sometimes he tells a story about how different of his buddies kind of warned him against doing this. Some of you know, some of you don't. But the gentleman that I'm about to introduce, he was blessed and fortunate to be, $1 million earner by his mid-20s. The first one that even came close to this sort of largesse in his family tree. And as he began to have a new circle and he started talking about the new venture that he was going to do and how he wanted to focus on helping the underserved communities, he was warned off this path over and over again. But he saw it through, y'all. And I know that some of you feel the same way. You're seeing a dream through. Please drop some fire emojis for the CEO of Novae, the credit and money company, Mr. Reco McCambry. Let's go.
Hey, I appreciate the introduction, Haziq. Can you see me? Am I showing up?
I can't see you yet.
Okay, all right. I can see
tell
myself.
Me I'm more handsome anyway, man. So we'll be.
Hey, man.
I can see you. Yes, we can see you.
Nice. I appreciate that introduction, Haziq, and also the information you was able to share with everybody this morning. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on my story at all, as you already talked a little bit about my background and the credibility that we've been able to gain in the industry. Really appreciate not only what you're doing here for us, Haziq, as the Chief Marketing Officer, and also my partner, but also, man, one of my best friends, and somebody who's out there championing the community. Somebody who's not only talking about change, but somebody who's leading the charge and being the change that we need in our communities all across the country. And for those of you who are here this morning, and soon to be afternoon, you all probably have a purpose, right? You have a business and you are out doing something, and it's important for you to be able to expand. It's important for you to be able to have what I call capacity to be able to continue to grow so you can deliver on whatever God put on your heart to do in his lifetime. And I truly believe that we only got one shot at this thing called life. And if that is true, then we should have the opportunity to live it up. Not only living the lifestyle of our dreams, but being able to serve and giving other people an opportunity to be able to get to the lifestyle of their dreams. So what I'm going to do real quick is kind of show you what the prerequisite is in order for you to be able to get to the lifestyle of your dreams and gain the capacity that you're looking for. Okay, can y'all hear me okay? Because
Rico, let me make an announcement that everybody should
Somebody is not unmuted.
Everybody can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, nice. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. So what is business credit? And many of you probably here saying, well, yeah, I already know about this. I've seen these presentations. But I'm telling you, there's a few nuances that you may be missing out on, especially if you're not at a point where you have all the capacity you need. One of the reasons why we're blessed and fortunate to be in a position that we are, one of the fastest growing fintechs, not only in the state of Georgia, but in the entire United States, is because we have unlimited capacity. We have the ability to be able to go out and grab the resources that we need to continue to grow and scale our business. So my goal over the course of the next 15 minutes or so is to be able to give you the information so you can do the same exact thing. See, business credit is the credit that's obtained in your business's name. And with business credit, your business builds its own credit profile and score through its EIN number. No different than you're building a credit profile and score through your social security number itself. Is separate from you personally. It's its own entity. This credit is in the business's name and based on the business's ability to pay. I want you to drop that in the comments. Business's ability to pay, not the business owner's ability to pay. And that's super important. Business credit is the only financial solution you can get regardless of what we call the 3 C's. That's cash flow, collateral, and consumer credit quality. You know, typically, if you're trying to get a credit card, if you're trying to get approved for a loan, you know, they're going to want to know, well, what your income is. They're going to want to know what business revenue do you have coming in? What does your credit score look like? What real estate can you put up in order to get the money? Well, when you start building business credit, you don't have to worry about those 3 C's after you build a solid profile. So we're going to talk about how do you develop that foundation. So over the course of time, you can gain the capacity you need without having to put your personal life in jeopardy. So this means any business can obtain it. No matter if you're a nonprofit or even if you're a startup, you can start building business credit today. Thing I love to tell people is business credit more than doubles your borrowing ability, even 3x and even 4x at times, simply because of how it's set up. And it makes your business more lendable. See, the thing is, many of you, if you've been in business for a while, more than a couple of years, you have probably started to develop a business credit score and you don't even know it. And the truth is, if you don't know it, you probably got a failing business credit score. See, because if you're not intentionally putting the work in to build your business credit, it looks like to the business credit bureaus that you're not building it effectively at all. So you start having a very low failing score in the beginning, even if you didn't know your score existed. So by the time we're finished here, I'm going to encourage you to go sign up with the business credit of the business credit reporting agencies so you can see if you have a score out there. But check this out. If you haven't been doing this, you probably have a low score. The great thing about how this whole process works is when you start building your business credit, your score can start going up immediately. This is just showing one report with one trade line. And as you can see, they went from below a 30 in their IntelliScore to over 96 and being at low to medium risk with just one trade line, going to low risk on one of the scores scales with just one trade line. And when you start adding multiple trade lines, then your credit score on the business side starts to escalate and you're able to start getting lines of credit, credit cards, loans, all the things you need to grow and scale your business strictly in your business name, strictly under your EIN that's separated from you personally. In fact, this is the only way you can legally have 2 credit profiles. Or if you have multiple businesses, it may be 3 credit profiles or 4 credit profiles. Why? Because your business is its own entity. Now, you have several people out there that may consider themselves financial gurus or people that have credit hacks. And there are several people out there who sell something called CPNs. And you got to be very careful with a product like that because in several states across the country, they're starting to convict people. And people are going to jail, paying several fines behind these illegal numbers that have trade lines already attached to them that you actually purchase. Not only can you get in trouble legally, but your business could also be blacklisted on the business credit bureaus. So it's really, really important to do things the right way. It may be a little slower at times, but you got to understand when you do it the right way and you build a solid foundation, you have something that's unshakable and unbreakable, and you can become very wealthy and not have to worry about watching your back all the time. So this is what you want to do. Start building your business credit profile as you're repairing your personal credit profile. And y'all, remind me at the end to give you one of the hacks to shoot your personal credit score way up as well as your business credit score. I got a hack for you. All right. Now, the thing I love about building a business credit profile, you can do it relatively fast. And we're going to talk about how within a few months, you can start to develop a business credit score and start getting funding under your business's name. Now, the thing I love about this is business credit scores are only based on one factor, and that's you paying by the due date. The difference between that and personal credit is based on multiple factors. And I truly believe this was all implemented for a reason. We call this the system, and that's another training for another day. But I believe that there are several things in this country that were developed in certain ways and structured in certain ways to keep certain people away from success. And one of the things is personal credit. There's 5 different factors. We call it 35, 30, 15, 10, 10, where your credit score is based on not only your payment history and if you pay on time, but also utilization. That's a third of your credit score. If they give you a $10,000 credit card, you would expect that you could use all 10,000 of those dollars of that credit to be able to purchase things. but they didn't send you something in the mail that said or taught you that if you spend over $3,000 of that $10,000, that's going to tank your credit score. And in fact, the more of that 10 grand you spend, they're going to come back and take the credit back. And sometimes they can make it all due at one time. That further jacks up your credit. So you don't have to worry about that when you're building business credit. The length of your credit history, the accumulation of new credit and credit mix. Those are a lot of things to have to consider, right? And we have a platform to show you how to actually do all those things perfectly, to have great personal credit. But with business credit, you're only worrying about that one factor. See, with personal credit, you're trying to build something called a FICO score. With business credit, you're building something called a paydex score. See, with your FICO score, that goes up to 850. With your paydex score, that goes up to 100. It's incredibly important to have a paydex score between 80 to 100. Well, Reco, how do you achieve that? Just pay the bills on time. It doesn't matter what the mix is. It doesn't matter what your utilization is. In fact, you can get a $10,000 credit card on business credit, right? And you can have $9,900 in terms of a balance, and that doesn't affect your business credit score. If you continue to pay on time each and every month, and as you're building that payment experience, that $10,000 will turn into $10,000 turn into $12,000. I'll turn into 15,000, I'll turn into 20. And you can continue accumulating business debt, and they will keep giving you more to invest into your business, obviously, as long as you're making money, right? But they will keep giving you more, right, to be able to build your business as long as you're paying on time. One of the other hacks I'll mention right now before I forget is the difference between personal debt, when we're talking about revolving credit, and business debt. If you have $10,000, let's say, in business debt, and let's say the thing about it is you only have to pay around 1% of whatever the balance is. So if you got $10,000 in debt, that means that payment is going to be like around $100 per month. Now, if you take that same $10,000 in debt on the revolving side and put on your personal, you're probably going to be paying $700 or $800 per month. So if you have a personal credit card building your business, that's around $700 or $800 difference in cash flow, which obviously can affect your business and how well you're able to grow it. So you got to start seeing the immediate benefits of having business credit as opposed to running your business on personal credit. And I don't know if you knew it or not, but there are several business credit cards out there that are still personal credit cards because they report to the personal credit bureaus. See, our job is to provide a platform that actually makes everything black and white. You can see what's personal and stay away from that if you want to build a business credit profile. And we provide you not only the creditors, but also the lenders and also the platform so you can be able to choose things that are just business so you can separate everything. Because even if you have a business card or a business loan that's reporting to the personal credit bureaus, that means it's personally guaranteed and it's affecting your personal life. Well, you want to be able to separate that thing, okay? And obviously, as you get above 80 and stay above 80, then you're going to be presented as a low risk. But the bottom line is, ultimately, you want to get to a point where you have no PG, okay? And PG doesn't stand for point guard, all right? For those of you who know about basketball, okay? That's personal guarantee. No personal guarantee. Totally separated from your personal life. On some account types, and then eventually all account types, you'll be able to enter your information on applications, keep your social security number off in terms of pulling credit and being able to guarantee it. Some lenders are still going to require that for verification, but you always want to ask after you get a business credit score that they not pull your personal credit and that it doesn't report to the personal credit bureaus. Like I said earlier, this is perfect for startups. So it doesn't matter what your personal credit looks like right now. It doesn't matter if you have any revenue. It doesn't even matter if you have a name of a business yet. We're going to help you do all that through this process. The reason why you want to build business credit is it puts you in a position to have a competitive advantage to grow. Okay. Competitive advantage is everything in the world of business. Most times as entrepreneurs, we get started and we're just looking at what we're doing. And granted, you want to stay in your lane. You want to make sure you're focused on what you're doing. But the reality is more than likely you have competition. So in order to separate yourself from the competition, you got to have more capacity. I'll give you an example really quickly. Let's say you got two guys. You got a guy named John and you got a guy named Tom. Both of them are in the mobile car washing business. Let's say John is a great guy. You know, John takes care of his family. He helps out in the community. He goes to church. Everybody loves him. He's always helping people. But John is bootstrapping his business. He only has one van right now, only has one person that works for him. So that means he's limited on how many cars he can wash during the day, during the week. Let's say everybody loves him. He has referral business, but he doesn't have any money for marketing. He doesn't have any money to really grow outside of that one van and that one employee. Now, let's say we look at Tom. Tom's over here. People don't like Tom, right? He has a terrible personal life. Family hates him. The community hates him. But Tom has money. Tom has business credit, which equals capacity. And Tom has 20 vans. Tom has 40 employees. In fact, Tom doesn't even wash the cars. In fact, the people don't even know Tom owns the business. But guess who's making the most money? Guess who's most successful? Guess who has time freedom? Tom does. Why? Because Tom has capacity. Tom has built a business credit profile that allows him to scale his business and continue to scale it, right? Because of the capacity and the business credit that he's actually accomplished. Now, I don't know what industry you're in, but if you can compare whatever you're doing to maybe what somebody else is doing that's on a higher level, and I can guarantee you it's because they have capacity. So it's important for you, no matter how great of a person you are, no matter how much people love you, no matter how much you love the Lord and how much the Lord loves you, right? Because I definitely love the Lord and I know the Lord loves me. Unless I position myself to be able to take advantage of the blessings that the Lord has for us, we're not going to be able to do it. And I know for a fact you're here for a reason, and it's important for you to be able to take this information and do something with it. Just like Tom is doing, even though nobody likes him, okay? So it's much easier to scale your business. Like in that example I gave you earlier with Tom, he once had one van, and he probably went to 2, to 4, to 8, to 15, to 20, and he'll continue growing if he continues to duplicate the model that he used to get to that point and utilizing his business credit and access to capital to be able to do that. So if you want to grow, you got to be able to have capacity, and that's what we're going to be able to help you do with this. And don't get me wrong, the information I'm about to give you right now, you'll be able to take this and do everything on your own, but we're going to be here to help you. Just to give you some examples on how every successful company that's major utilize business credit. If any of you travel, you heard of Pilot Travel Centers, over 153 trade lines. Publix, supermarket, here in obviously Atlanta, the Georgia area, they're everywhere. 171 trade lines. Dell Computer, 83 trade lines. Microsoft Corporation, 131 trade lines. Facebook, 40 trade lines. You know how much money they're making. Apple, over $1 trillion market cap, not billion, $1 trillion company, 138 trade lines. That's right, they have business credit. But check this out. The cash cow, Walmart, actually utilizes 80% of their cash injection comes from business credit. That means all these stores across the world, when you walk into them and all these products they have, 80% of that is bought by business credit. And they're utilizing their cash to invest in things that's giving them a higher return than the lotion that's sitting on the shelf at Walmart. See, I'm giving you all the keys. I'm giving you what you need to grow like the other successful companies. We wouldn't be where we are today if we didn't utilize what I'm giving you right here to be able to succeed. And we're here to help you get straight through it. So how do you build business credit? The first step is you want to make sure your business is set up credibly. These are 10 steps. I'm going to go through super fast, and we're going to answer some questions at the end. But number one is you want to set up your entity. You want to register your company with the Secretary of State. Okay, just because you sell barbecue, on the street corner, it's great barbecue and everybody cash apps you or give you cash and write you checks to your name. That's not an entity. That's not a real business. You're only a real business when you get registered with an LLC. We even offer a service. We offer that for free. Okay, all you got to do is pay state fees. Number two is you want to get a business address. All right. So your home address is your home address. You may say, Reco, I can't afford an office. I can't afford to rent a suite out anywhere. You can get something called a virtual address as low as like 20 or 30 bucks a month. And it looks like you're at a real building. That makes your business more credible. That makes you more fundable. Okay. So you want to be able to sign up for a virtual business address. You also want a virtual business phone number. All right. Your cell phone number doesn't work. Okay, it will work, but it's going to limit your ability to get funding and scale for you to be able to gain capacity. You want to look like you have a business phone number at a business location. So when they're considering who to give this money to, you want them to give it to you. This is one of the things they look at. You can get a virtual phone number just like you get a virtual office. Also, your email and website. If you're selling barbecue, JJ, you know, your email shouldn't be jjsbarbecue57@hotmail.com. Okay. No, it should be info@jjsbarbecue.com. You should have a website, jjsbarbecue.com, right? You may be saying, Reco, I can't build a website. There are several platforms that give you a free DIY website builder. I was looking at a commercial this morning and it showed that they have AI now that you answer a few questions, it builds a website just like that. You know, we offer free websites and packages that we do. Stop making excuses and having roadblocks in front of you that can be easily pushed to the side, and you can really grow and gain the success you're looking for. Many people are there, they are preventing themselves from succeeding. Number 5 is getting an EIN. It's like a social security number for a person. You can get this for free at irs.gov, right? This is your EIN, and this is what you're going to build your business credit under. Number 6, any licenses and other documents you need to run your business compliantly. Most people don't even know if they need a business license. We offer a service where you can go and actually search, and it'll actually tell you if you need a license and what license that actually is, right? Most people don't know where to get that. Number 7, a business bank account. You know, if you're running a business, but you don't have a business bank account, then you're not running a business. It's extremely important that you sign up for that bank account and you start having your income flow into the business bank account separate from your personal bank account. Then number 8 is one of the most, one of the most important things that most people don't have, and that's you're being listed on the 411 National Directory. The reason why most people don't have this is because number 1, they don't know about it, or number 2, they don't know where to find it. So we provide a direct pathway for you to get listed with this right away. But most importantly, you need business listing congruency. So everything that I talked about earlier, you want to make sure that you're set up the same way on each and every platform. The same business name, the same contact name, the same business address, the same business phone number, right? The bank account, the EIN, the registration, all those things need to match. Otherwise, there's going to be mismatches when it comes to the financial algorithm that are run when you're trying to gain business credit or loans when it's time for you to apply. Many people get frustrated because they can't get capital, but they're not doing it the right way. You know, you heard the term, don't hate the player, hate the game, right? But the bottom line is if you learn the game, you become a better player. And that's what we're trying to teach you. We're giving you the secrets, and they're really not secrets, but they're just hidden from a lot of people that don't have the information. Step number 2 is actually the 10th thing, and that's you getting set up with the business credit reporting agency and getting your reports. So you got Equifax business, you got Experian business, and you got Dun & Bradstreet. Once you get set up with Equifax business, Experian business, and Dun & Bradstreet, it's important for you to be able to see that. And now we're going to start establishing your business credit by going to the next step, step 3, and that's getting approved for vendor credit. You build business credit in 4 tiers. Okay, somebody drop that in the comments. 4 credit tiers. The first credit tier is vendor credit. Now, you can leave this webinar and go do this yourself, okay? But if you don't want to do it yourself, or if you need some help, that's what we do. We've successfully done this with over 20,000 businesses since we've been doing this. So check this out. 97% of vendors that have trade accounts, vendor trade accounts, do not report to the business reporting agencies. So it doesn't matter if you sign up for vendor credit with them if they don't report, because you need a score. And the score can't get reported unless you're actually utilizing it and it's being reported, okay? So there's only 3%. We set you up with all those individuals that report, so when you sign up for it, you know that it's going to be reported. For those of you that don't know, vendor credit works like this. You purchase something, they invoice you, and it's net 10, net 15, or net 30. That means you'll have 10 days to pay for it, or 15 days to pay for it, or 30 days to pay for it after you buy it. That's what net 10, net 15, net 30 means, all right? And you want to be able to get set up with vendors who do report and who will approve you. We have a platform where when you log in and go into it, you see all the vendors that do, so you don't have to worry about that 97%. If you do this on your own, you got to navigate who's a part of the 97% and who's a part of the 3%. After you get 5 accounts reporting, then you're able to start establishing this starter credit for your business. Starter vendors are the ones who will give you initial credit, even if you have no business credit. If you have no score, if you have no trade lines, they'll still approve you, but you got to know which ones to actually go to. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you 3 right now for free, okay? Quill Office Supplies, they report to Dun & Bradstreet. Uline Shipping Supplies, they report to Dun & Bradstreet. Granger also reports to Dun & Bradstreet. Some of them will start reporting to Equifax and Experian as well. You can start building business credit this week with just these 3 alone. So make sure you go ahead and tap in, and that's without you having us help you or not. Now, there's 2 alternatives, because vendor credit can be a little slow at times if you don't do it quickly. You can get with a program, like I said, that'll help you do it quickly with the business credit builder programs. That's something that we offer. Or you can also apply for unsecured business funding. We call that UBF. You can get a few $100,000, like up to $250,000 with 0% interest most times, right? And all you got to do is have more than a 680 credit score and a bit of a credit history. Okay, so that's something that we can provide to you as well. It's absolutely free to apply. And you can actually have that money starting this week or next week, depending on the credit score that you have, even if you don't have any time in business. Okay, even if you don't have any revenue, you can still get up to $250,000 as long as you have the credit. And also, you're going to have some kind of income. It doesn't have to be business income, but some kind of income to prove that you can actually pay the money back. The next tier is department store credit. With department store credit, you see these stores like Target, Staples, Amazon, Best Buy, Office Depot, Dell, Lowe's, and many others where you can get credit under your business's name, separate from your personal name, separate from your personal credit. However, you got to make sure you got those 5 starter vendor accounts first, right? Those are reporting, and then you're able to go to the second tier, which is the department store credit. The third tier is fleet credit. See, when you develop fleet credit, this is when you get to a point of not only getting gas cards, not only having cars that you can pay for repairs, but you can start buying vehicles at this level in your business name. If you're on TikTok or Instagram, you see there are a lot of videos, people talking about it all the time, how they're buying these cars in their business name. That's because they have business credit built. That's because they've entered the fleet credit stage of this whole process, which is the third tier. And then if you're responsible with fleet credit, that's when you get the cash credit. That's when you can get Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, all these different types of things under your business's name, under your EIN, and not your social security number. So that's where everybody wants to get. See, your business, your startup can show legitimacy if you follow these steps that I talked about, and the lenders are going to feel more comfortable about lending, right? And we'll be able to help you do that. So look, let's talk about taking the next step, taking action. There's a ton of resources online that can teach you how to build business credit yourself. I just gave you this presentation. I'm sure Melvin and the team, they have this recorded and they may put this out so you can watch it several times and do everything yourself. Completely fine, right? You can get net 30 accounts this week. I just showed you how to do that with 3 different credit vendors, right? And in 60 to 90 days or less, you can start getting cash funding and unsecured lines of credit by following the formula that I gave you, and also based upon your situation, right? If you're doing it quickly and you know exactly where to look. The hard part is finding the creditors and vendors that actually report to the business credit bureaus. That's where we're going to save you a lot of time, but you truly can search for it and do it yourself. We've seen credit profiles built out and people are able to get cash credit under their business name in as little as 3 to 6 months. Haziq told you on the front end, we were going to show you a platform where you will be able to get search for free grants, right? And put you in a position to be able to get that for your business, no matter what industry you're in. In fact, ffnews.com, which is FinTech Finance News, featured us in November of 2022 when we rolled out with this platform. Also, Essence Magazine. If you Google us in Essence on essence.com, they featured us as being the first black-owned fintech launches the first free grant search platform. All right, that's something that we were blessed to do. If you go to our website at novaemoney.com and you click on small business, there's a tab that says grants and government loans. Once you click on that tab and you click on grants and government loans, it takes you to a page that asks you about your business. You enter that information, and then it's going to take you to a page and show you all the grants that are available for your particular industry and where you are in your business. It's going to show you the tax credits that are available. It's going to show you the loans that are available. It's going to show you the guarantees that are available. And you can't tell me this isn't sweet. And guess what, y'all? This is completely free. See, we have revenue drivers in other areas, but our whole goal is to make sure that we're providing greater access to credit, greater access to capital, and greater access for successful entrepreneurship for underserved communities. So we're not only talking about it, but we actually walking. We're walking the walk as well. So there are 3 different ways you can work with us after today. Typically I speak at expos and conferences about this information. In fact, tomorrow I'll be in Miami. If y'all know anybody in Miami, doing a small business expo. We actually offer people the opportunity to become part of a free mentorship group, completely free. Our goal is to help you scale your business, grow your business, start your business. So for the webinar today, the first 25 people that want access to this Facebook group to get all this information completely for free, you can text Meal Mentor to the phone number on the screen, and that'll get you access. If you're a part of the first 25, it's completely free. We're not trying to upsell you anything because it's just information, right? We make our money in several different ways, as you can see. All those 9 funding types that Mr. Ali was talking about earlier, we offer those, right? And we have tens of thousands of businesses that we're serving ongoing just in funding alone. The normal price for our business credit building program is $34.95. We give a cash discount at $24.95, but we're doing something special for the Atlanta Black Chamber. It's only $19.95. So that's $1,500 off the regular price. You can actually go directly and get enrolled for that. If you want to talk to somebody, you can just text Biz Credit, B-I-Z Credit, to the phone number you see on your screen. Or if you just want to go ahead and get enrolled before we shut that special off, it's bcfsspecial.com. That's Business Credit Finance Suite, bcfsspecial.com. And lastly, we're always looking for partnerships. We have channel partnerships where you can refer people to us if you're already operating in a financial services vertical, and you can actually get paid up to $3,000 depending on the services they get from us. So if you're looking to expand your revenue outside of what you're already doing, but could add credit and money services, text more income to the same number, and we'll make sure we set you up for that. So screenshot this real quick so you can get back with us. And hopefully we got a few minutes for questions. But we're located right here in Conyers, Georgia. This is our corporate office on the screen. So this is not something we're running out of a bedroom. Okay, like Haziq said earlier, we're Inc. 5000 for the last 3 years in a row. Super grateful for that. But we're here for you to connect with us. There's our corporate phone number. And hey, we're here to serve. So thanks a lot for having us here today. Melvin, do you want to open this up for any questions, or you want to go ahead and end it up? How you want to work this?
Well, no, man, we gotta try to do some Q&A for the folks who have questions, and I would imagine that there are going to be a few good questions. First, I want to say to everybody, because people were coming in throughout the whole session, and we like 100 people, for one of our webinars. That's a very strong number. So hey, everybody, these brothers have been members of the chamber since before the pandemic, so that's like at least 5 years. So as you can see, as you can tell, yep, they are the truth in this space. So really, really glad that they had some time today to do this for us. Now, what we like to do is, I would say, the virtual hand raise is probably the best way to manage this. And so for those of you who have a question, you want to do the virtual hand raise, my preference is a verbal, where you would actually ask your question, and be concise, please, with that. Curtis Robinson, okay, you're already unmuted. Curtis, ABC member Curtis Robinson, what's your question, brother?
How are you doing? Excellent presentation. Thank you for your commitment. It was definitely came out in the presentation. You promised a personal hack for credit, so I just want to get that before you get off the line.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that back up. So one of the things I love to teach people early on when they start building business credit, especially if they're in a position to get some business credit cards. I talked about earlier how you only have to pay around 1% of the total balance of your business credit card, as opposed to anywhere between 3 to 5% on the personal side. Is that when you gain a business credit card that's not reporting to the personal credit bureaus, and you have business credit card debt, is you want to do a balance transfer to that business credit card, which is typically going to give you 0% or 3.99% or 5.99 over 18, 24 months. And not only is that going to save you on interest, but it's also going to help your cash flow because it's going to be a much lower payment. But watch this. Now that debt disappears from your personal credit profile. So now instantly your utilization drops, which increases your credit score, which helps you get more personal credit and also business credit that may be PG by your personal credit. But now you have a higher personal credit score and you have a higher business credit score. And you have more capacity to help you win. Y'all, that was worth the whole admission today. I don't know if y'all paid anything or not, but I think y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, Curtis, that answered your question, brother? Okay,
In stars, it did.
All right. I don't know if it's Mrs. or Mr. Peel. You have your hand raised. Please unmute.
Yes, Mrs. It's Nathan Peel here in
Arkadelphia,
Arkansas.
right.
I have a question about paying you said to pay monthly on time to build the business credit. And I know with my personal credit, I try to make it a point to pay it off by the closing date in order to avoid interest, Mm-hmm. So is that something that would be a positive or a negative when trying to build the business credit?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, as long as you're paying on time, that's the goal, right? Even if you're paying a little bit early, that still is recording payment experiences with the creditor, right? Whoever the lender is, and that's the goal, to be able to make sure those payment experiences happening. So as long as you're not paying late, then you're going to be in good graces because they're going to record that experience monthly and sending that to the bureaus.
All right. And
Great, thank you.
Valencia.
Okay. Hello, I'm Valencia Thornton, and I've been in business about 15 years. And I'm be honest, I just have not even tried to get any business credit. But I did get a chance to get a credit card from Sam's Club. And it was interesting that they reported me as being derogatory and I paid on time. It was just a flat lie.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Were you finished or did you get cut off? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that was my phone rang. But what I was saying was that, and then when I looked at it, the interest rate was 29%. They're charging me like almost $180 per month for interest. And I'm trying to get back from up out of that because I think they either use my personal, I don't know, but it's a bit much. And I'm looking forward to working with you to help me get some better credit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And one of the things we do as well, and one of the things I didn't mention is in addition to the platform, purchase our business credit finance suite, you also get business credit advisors, right?
Okay.
They actually look at your personal situation and you're able to speak to someone. In fact, once you get enrolled and you get through onboarding and you sign your agreement, within 24 to 48 hours, someone reaches out to you and say, hey, welcome to the program. They learn about your business. They see what you're trying to accomplish. You let them know if you have any issues, like the issue you just described to me. And they also going to go through some business credit restoration, right? So in your case, you say that they're reporting improperly, so we're going to make sure we get that corrected, either by getting that removed or updated, right? And then moving forward, making sure that we can separate that. Now, is that derogatory reporting on your personal credit? More than likely it is, but do you know?
Let's see. I think so. And I'm trying to figure out why did they mix it? Because I clearly went in with the intentions of getting a line of credit with my EIN number.
Sure.
So, and I'm in a space where, being in business 15 years, I've gotten about 80% of your 10 checkoff list. I'm there. It's just that I never separated the two because I didn't think I could qualify for anything.
Right. Yeah. And that's because at the beginning of your process, you probably didn't have it laid out in the structure or the format that I just taught everybody, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, that's fixable, right? Based on your situation, once you get set up, they'll be able to navigate what you've already done and figure out where are the holes and where do we need to plug those particular holes. See, when you don't have a business credit score, even though you apply for business credit, through someone. And if you have a lot of time in business, if you have revenues, they'll approve you, but it's always going to be a personal guarantee if you don't have a business credit score. Does that make sense? You know, so if you don't have a successful business credit score, even though it is a business line of credit or a business credit card, and they're telling you it is, it's still going to be personal. Your personal credit is still going to be attached because you don't have a separate score that could bear the weight and the risk of whatever credit you're trying to actually use.
Well, this has been great because again, I was actually stuck because I mean, never, the credit score of my personal was bad. I didn't know that I could get anything, to help the business. And it's just been a stuck situation, very stuck.
Well, we plan on helping you get unstuck for sure.
Please. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Yeah, I don't mind mentioning, since this is the Atlanta Black Chamber, that a lot of these systems were created for people that do not look like us, y'all.
Right.
And so a lot of this is murky and smoky on purpose. And that's why it's not Novae. So we got your back.
Yeah, well, I was even thinking one time, I said, if you got 30 ways to deny me credit, 30 ways, you're going to find one of the ways out of the 30 to say no.
That's right.
And we want to move to Kira. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay. What is your question?
Hello. So I have a question. My question is that I have business credit cards and it has my business name on it, but it also has my personal name on it. Is that not truly a business credit card? Those are not truly business credit cards?
Yeah, well, they still can be business credit cards. Like I'll give you an example. This here is my American Express business card, right? And you see it has my name and also the company name on it.
Right.
When I talk about unlimited capacity, like we don't have a limit on this card, right? We everything we charge here, but the thing is, it's just tied to our EIN. It's not tied to me personally at all, right? So there's just an identifier. This is an identifier, that it is me, because also obviously have employees that have their own cars and things of that nature. However, it depends on how you set up the account, right? If you set up the account, you have a business credit score, it's under your EIN, you didn't enter your social security number as a PG, then it's just on your business. But if you set it up and leverage your personal credit because you didn't have business credit, then it's also on your personal because, it's PG. Now, sometimes you can get business credit. Like we set up people for unsecured business funding, the UBF. I was telling everybody earlier, if you got a 680 or above and some type of income, it doesn't have to be business income, okay? It could be personal, your job income, right? You got a W-2 or whatever. If you can show that you can pay back the loans or the lines of credit or the credit cards, we have lenders and we have creditors that will actually give you the credit, right? And not put it on your personal credit profile. It's still business, but it's just PG because you don't have the business credit to carry that weight on its own yet, right? So when you're applying and you're building something, if you want to be able to have business credit separated, it's always a good idea to ask when you're submitting an application. If you're submitting any business funding application, any business credit application, always ask, hey, is this going to show up on my personal credit profile? And if they say yes, and you don't want it to, the only way you can combat that is if you have business credit, or if you have a really high credit score and you just wanted to show up off of your personal credit report, but you still have to PG if you don't have a business credit profile strong enough to handle it. Because there are several different business lines of credit, business loans, and also business credit cards that we could get individuals that have great personal credit that can show income, even if it's just personal, that can actually pay back whatever credit they get.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, everyone. Thank you, Takira, for your question. We need to end the session. And look, I can't say enough about these brothers. Like I said, they've been members for years. And they've done this for us. They've done this for us before, and we will have them do it again. But I certainly hope that those of you who have a need will be reaching out. They gave you the information, who to call. They've got programs in place. And, this is something that will take you to the next level. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say, but this has been an amazing opportunity to get informed and empowered with information that can make a difference. So just glad to know that it was the ABC who brought it to you once again. Okay. All right, listen, everybody, have a great day. This will be posted on our Facebook page in a couple of days. Okay, give us a little turnaround time here, people. But you'll be able to go and look at it again and see what you missed. Thank you so much for showing up for the ABC today. Shout out to Haziq and Reco. Thank you, brothers. Y'all are some thorough brothers, man. I like thorough brothers. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mel. Appreciate it.
All right.
God bless.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.